Hi everyone, my name is Vince Gallman. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. So the intensifying pressure systems throughout the world, such as in New Zealand, Australia, and certainly here in Canada as of late in Ottawa in particular, have wisdom in them. Those pressure systems have wisdom, what I call diamond wisdom, which I'll get into. And it's very easy to judge those pressure systems as bad or wrong, or it shouldn't be this way. It should be this instead. But I invite you to, and hopefully this video will help you to see the wisdom in these pressure systems and how they actually are serving a purpose in our collective awakening, which is what these times are about. That's where we're going. We're not going to go down a dark spiral. We are, though it seems that way at the moment, at times, we are moving closer and closer to a tipping point in consciousness for us to awaken. So the pressure systems, and the one in Ottawa recently with the truckers is a really good example of one where there's the awakening convoy of truckers and the protesters gathering there, and there's the pushback from the ignorant, from the dark forces, and from those who are at this moment serving tyranny. Those at this moment who are serving tyranny, those who actually believe they're doing good, but are actually unwittingly doing the work of tyranny. And so this is creating a perfect storm. This is creating a pressure system that is serving a great purpose at the moment. And so what these pressure systems are doing is that they are expressing what's in the shadows into the light. So pressure, express. So I'm playing with words a little bit here, as you know I like to do sometimes, or some of you do. So there's a pressure and there's an expressing. And what is being expressed? Well, through these various pressure systems, we are seeing more and more clearly how tyranny works and how the media works in conjunction with tyranny and how the government works in conjunction with big tech and corporations. We are waking up to the level of corruption, the level of abuses of power that have always been there, that have been there going back thousands of years. This isn't new. And many believe, many people who are protesting, who say, I just want my freedoms back, they believe that they think they had more freedom than they actually did. They were far more enslaved than they can imagine because these corrupt officials, these abuses of power have been around for a long time. So it's nothing new. It's just that the pressure systems are squeezing them out so that we can see them more clearly. So this isn't about going back to normal. This isn't about reclaiming our freedoms, because really we weren't as free as we thought. I mean, we're paying far more taxes than we should, and that tax money has been used for all sorts of nefarious agendas that have nothing to do with the well-being of humanity. And that's just one example, but there's so many ways in which corporations, governments, et cetera, have been, causing havoc on the planet for a long time, for lack of a better word. So we are waking up to this now, and it's not about going back, it's about awakening. And so the pressure systems, what they're doing is that they're pushing out what's been in the shadows. So so that we can see it more clearly, and as we awaken to truth, as these truths come out, what happens? They integrate into the collective consciousness. They integrate into the individual consciousness and in the collective consciousness, and they wake people up. They ignite the fire in people. So that's what these pressure systems are doing. Now, if we apply this to our own journey of healing, so what happens is before we embark on a journey of healing, there's some kind of revealing. There's a revealing in our body. So for instance, we might start getting aches and pains. We might start feeling depressed. We might start getting eczema. We might start having emotional outbursts. things that were once suppressed or dormant in the system start coming out. Something starts pushing them out. There's an internal pressure. And sometimes it's an external pressure that triggers the internal pressure, which triggers the revealing of these shadow imprints, whether they're mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. It can be an external stimulus, such as it could be a toxic relationship or a difficult job or financial strain. Something outside is intertwined, some external pressure is intertwined with creating or causes or engenders an internal pressure, which forces us to see things more clearly. We suddenly have more awareness of what's actually in our system. Now we realize there's anger in our system. We didn't realize how much anger was there. And our eczema is an expression of that. Suddenly we start feeling depressed and we didn't realize how much sadness was in there. And our toxic relationship is catalyzing that. So something is pushing and pressuring and expressing these suppressed aspects in ourselves. They're pushing them out into conscious awareness, into the light of day, so that we can see them more clearly. So it's like a purging. It's a purging. I mean, when I used to, during ayahuasca, the sacred plant medicine in the shamanic ceremonies, people who start to get close to something big in their system that needs to be released, they feel the pressure in their system and then they vomit in a bucket. And that vomiting is a way of clearing. But to clear that, to have the vomit come out, first there needs to be a buildup of pressure in the stomach. There needs to be a buildup of pressure in the system. And you may notice that when you are on the verge or getting closer and closer to wanting to speak your truth, when you haven't been speaking your truth, you may feel a buildup of pressure or tension in your throat or in your chest, your heart area. There becomes a pressurizing that then forces or catalyzes you to express, X meaning outside, pushing it out. So then it becomes more revealed. So I want to remind you all that the word apocalypse comes from a Greek word that I can't say but is almost spelled the same way. That means reveal, to reveal. So apocalypse, which is what we're moving into increasingly, is creating a revelation, is creating revelation all over the world. People are seeing more and more what's going on, but they're also feeling it more. And that's the other thing. It's catalyzing a revealing of emotion, of fear, of anger, of rage, of grief, of disgust. This too is coming out, as I talked about 2 videos ago. It is purging it out. So there's a revealing on the emotional level, on the level of truth. So these pressure systems all over the world are playing the part of revealing it, pushing things out from the shadows that have always been there, whether that's at the individual level or at the collective level in terms of the dark agendas, the dark ways that have been there for a long, long time, going back thousands of years. We are waking up. So push out, pressure, express, individually, collectively. So what we're actually doing is we're going through what diamond goes through to become a diamond. So how is a diamond created? Diamonds are created by taking carbon and putting carbon under an intense heat and pressure process. And that intense heat and pressure process, called transmutation or alchemy, then creates the diamond, So what's happening is we are waking up as a collective through this pressure process to our diamond light body, our diamond hearts, our diamond minds. And the pressure process is needed. What is the carbon? The carbon is fear. The carbon is shame. The carbon is ignorance. The carbon is trauma and programming, whose time has come, and we can't continue operating that way. That's why we can't go back to normal. It's not going back to the perceived freedoms that you once had, because within those perceived freedoms, people were still suppressing all this stuff. They didn't know it. They might have had aches and pains. They might have had ups and downs, But they didn't realize that a lot of those downs and a lot of those aches and pains were coming from suppressed trauma. We're not going back to the days of living with suppression and distracting ourselves by watching TV and the news and playing pool in the pub and, and drinking alcohol. We are done with that. So it's not about going back. So you could look at the dark forces as playing a very important role right now, along with the light force, the light forces, the awakening masses, the protesters. They are together creating pressure systems all over the world, and in the pressure systems there is a great expressing and a great revealing. Now, the more there is revealed, the more we are creating the possibility for things to be healed, And that's really where we're going, because the more that is revealed and the more people wake up because they're integrating those revelations, those diamond revelations into their heart, into their mind, into their soul, the more they are waking up to this, the more we're going to need healing on the planet, because it's going to be so big what comes out. It already is big what's coming out. But we're going to need healing, and we're also going to need healing because of all that's going in our body right now, if you know what I mean. So we are going to need healing, and healing comes after the revealing. First, people start feeling aches and pains in their bodies, and they start feeling more emotional and feeling more anxious. And then finally, when there's enough pressure in their system, they reach out for help. They go to a therapist. They go see cranial sacral worker. They go to an energy worker, an osteopath, a shaman, because the revealing process reaches a tipping point, you could say, which then summons them, calls them to seek help to get healing. Now, when people heal, what happens is the more they heal, the more they integrate those shadows into their consciousness. They integrate those shadows into the consciousness. They integrate dark into light. So what happens is, as we integrate dark into light, meaning as things are revealed and then they're healed, and in the healing, as they become integrated into the consciousness of ourselves individually and as a collective, we are moving back into coherence. Body, mind, soul coherence. If something is in the shadows, such as rage, and it comes out and it is expressed and integrated, now we have less in the shadow. We have less aspects of ourselves that are compartmentalized. And when there's less compartmentalized, there's more integrated into our consciousness, and we are now operating from greater coherence and greater wholeness. What does health mean? It means whole. Heal, first four letters of health. Heal, health, whole, holy. We are moving to wholeness. We are moving to oneness. Oneness, everyone. So at a collective level, these pressure systems are expressing and causing the collective shadows to come out to the light, to be integrated and healed, so that we as a collective can move to greater coherence, greater unity, and greater oneness. Are you following me on this? Are you getting what I'm saying? This is the diamond wisdom of these pressure systems, is that we are moving to oneness and moving closer and closer to awakening to our diamond light body, our diamond light essence, our diamond heart, our diamond mind. The carbon that has long caused so much pain and suffering, going back thousands of years, the carbon, the fear, the shame, the ignorance, the greed, the corruption of our DNA, the program imprints from the church, the program imprints from our indoctrinating school system. These programs, their time is up. That's the carbon that is being put into the crucible, into the heat pressure process for alchemy, for transmutation, so that we can awaken to who we are as diamond light beings, So trust the pressure process. It is serving a purpose. And yes, the dark forces are part of that process. They are helping to create the pressure systems. And the more pressure is created, the more they're revealing themselves. It's becoming increasingly obvious what they're up to and how they work with the media and how they work with corporations. And so it's paradoxical. We have to reach a boiling point. We have to reach an alchemical boiling point for there to be the right there needs to be a tipping point in consciousness for us to be birthed anew, for us to be birthed anew. And that is what this is about, everyone. This is a rebirth in consciousness. So trust what is happening. Have faith in the pressure systems. Have faith in a higher plan. It is going as it needs to. And yes, that doesn't mean your heart doesn't break seeing people get trampled on by horses. It doesn't, of course it's going to break your heart. It breaks my heart to see what's happening with children. It does. And in that heartbreak, in that compassionate, in your compassion in your heart, in your love in your heart, I invite you still from that compassion and from that love and from that heartbreak to still trust and have faith in what is happening, have faith in the pressure systems, have faith in the unfolding and in the higher plan. And keep doing your work, keep doing your healing work, your empowerment work, birthing yourself anew. You are here to bring the dawn. We are all here to bring the dawn. We bring the dawn by the awakening of the light we are. We bring that diamond light. We are here to bring the gold for the upcoming golden age. We are that gold. We're bringing that, everyone. We're bringing that. So trust what is happening right now. Have faith. And if you need support with your healing and awakening journey, feel free to contact me. I heal people with Starlight individually and in groups remotely. So I'll put a link in the description. I have a ceremony coming up this weekend if you're interested. So take good care of yourselves. I hope what I've said today is helpful. And let's keep on holding compassionate space for this great, great unfolding and this great, great awakening, this revealing and healing. Thanks, everyone. And if you enjoy this video, please subscribe, please share, click notifications, leave your comments, and take good care.